Hey yo, let's go, folks. Welcome back on Thursday. Let's get right to it. Great to see everybody back in today. Let's get at the business out of the way. Just get the software. Nothing else needs to be said. Okay, 2 week free trial. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. 2 weeks. Hey, listen, I'm going to give away one more today, but I will not honor going forward. If you won a trial in the past, I will not honor repeat winners anymore. This is really designed for folks that are new, want to get a crack at it. I mean, I understand if you want a secondary trial, you can DM me on Discord, but just got to get that out of the way. We can't have the repeat winners. So anybody that was a repeat winner, no worries, you will be honored. But beyond that, going forward, no more repeat winners, okay? So we'll give away one more in a little bit. Markets are all over the place today, but that's okay. Let's dig in and yeah, a couple updates on where I'm at with the prop firm thing is that, yeah, I'm working on a payout with Apex, but because they limit to 5 payouts for the lifetime of the account, I'm probably going to try to get more than a few $1,000. So I'll be doing more on that. We'll be sharing more of that. Like I said, I am, it's the whole thing for me because I've always traded live accounts. It's excessive rules, but I get it. Some of it's a little scammy. Others are. I understand the whole deal. But I think it's very doable. It's just that you have to be super precision and you got to be almost scalping mode to make these things happen. And I've literally blown out. I've passed, I don't know, a handful, 10 accounts or whatever. I've blown out dozens and I blew out two live accounts after all of that. So it's been a kind of a trial for me, but making progress on the whole deal. So we'll get into that today. Well, let's see if we can get a trade here. The market was all over the place yesterday. Let's just kind of quick review Nasdaq in light of all the news and everything, guys. I frankly, want to tune it all out. Just want to, tune it out. And what I want to talk about is what we're dealing with currently. 4 hour chart here with the big deep crab for the year down at the 1618, and we're still technically in this type 1. You go to regular hours on that 4 hour chart. It's a butterfly. Where's my deep crab? That was on extended hours. But either way, we're still type 1, and I suspect that it ain't over. It ain't over. I mean, it's we still have to deal with, in terms of framework, the type 1, type 2 situation. So market rebounded nicely off the pre-market lows. Check this out. It wasn't but a few hours ago we were 23.6, now 24.130, only off 60. And in crude oil, like, get out of town, really? The crude oil all over the place, but crude oil, we talked about it last session on Tuesday. It's either 102, 104 area or 140. And so with today's action, we got to start thinking maybe there's going to be a super spike. Maybe if we don't get out of this situation, that we're looking at some kind of crazy higher level. Hold on. There you go. I got to adjust for the contracts. But again, target to 140.75, guys. Seems to me like this is not over. We've got some more work to do, and 140.75. Like I said, it was either 102, 104, or 140. I think it's going to be 140. So buckle up. What's going on, chat? Come on in. Settle in. 12:42 right now. We're here Tuesday, Thursday. We'll go long today. Tomorrow is a holiday. If you were not aware, tomorrow is a holiday. So let's see. Let's see what we get for the rest of the session. Great to see everybody. Go on in. Yeah, the micro scalping is. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I've been doing that more so. 5-second, 30-second time frames. Yesterday didn't have a good day. Yesterday I kind of was not in it mentally, and then it was just kind of a frustrating day. Feeling a little bit better today, but there's NQ right now on the 5-second. What happened just there? What was that? We just, as we were starting, what did we just blast 100 off that low? Well, let's see. We need some concrete signals. And the last couple of patterns intraday here, down at 24.062, little crab pattern. But it's been really getting these crazy kind of wicks. Technically, within the framework, even intraday, I'm still favoring stuff like just simple hop levels. Look at harmonic optimal price levels and just kind of focusing in on dot triggers. So maybe 198 on this return, currently 131. Send it back up. Let's see if we send it back up. Uh, Yeah, let's see. I mean, I've been, I'm curious to hear what you guys, got a lot of great feedback on the props. A lot of people are doing it. Some people don't like it. Others are having success. For me, I'm just kind of checking them all out. The Tradeify is that's an interesting firm, although they're not as cheap as like an Apex. But I think it's more about just getting it right, getting it right, not having the crazy super tight rules. Some of the rules have opened up a little bit, so we'll see. Again, it's been kind of like a pet project for me for a while. Still doing stocks longer term, although I have not seen a hell of a lot until recently. We'll get into that. We do have a number of patterns popping up that are interesting, and then let's see if we can get a capitulation. I mean, the thing that is really uncanny, everyone. We talked about this on Tuesday, how we're virtually mirroring day for day, week for week, what happened last year. Today is April 2nd, and we're here. I mean, last year, April 2nd was like right there. So, April 2nd of last year was the start of that big capitulation move. This is kind of what I'm thinking we're going to get in the next week, which is a move, shakeout, capitulation move, take it down, where you get half of the whole thing that took 6 weeks, 2 months to materialize, and then it happens. That destructive kind of capitulation move comes in there pretty quickly. 5 sessions, 7 sessions, something like that. I told you on Tuesday, with tax day on the 15th, people pulling cash out to pay for taxes. That's just a cyclical annual thing that goes down. So let's see how we shape up here. The interesting thing on what was going down last year on the daily is that we were doing kind of that final flush phase. We were deep oversold on a number of levels, and then it still took a few days before that was out of the woods. Inflection, the inflection was complete out, and we started the move for last year. Same kind of a deal. Same kind of deal. We're here. We're there. Doesn't look too crazy yet, but a big downtrend move to the final flush. This could happen, like I said, pretty quickly. What I'm interested in, clear signals, guys, is that weekly on HSI, we're going to be officially out of the oversold level, which makes like 23K critical floor. But we still might need to retest that next week. A lot going on. What's going on? Market's trying to come back, only up off 50 now. 5 minute is where's that? 5 minutes is trying to trigger this high level continuation. I think even for today, you got to go back to like this 4 hour chart. 4 hour chart on it's actually regular trading hours. That's the key difference here. A whole bunch of support, the crab, almost a perfect type one. So 23,359. That's immediate resistance. Notice we filled the gap as well, and all the way back down to 23,077. That's your big level for support because it is the 1618 throwdown. Here we go now on the other side to the downside with a 1618. And you guys know how critical the 1618 was on the way up. A lot to digest there, but 26.5 ish up here. Well, the QQQ was the real one. QQQ at 627 down to 545 has been the target. There's the 1618 up here. Never fully got to the 382, but it ain't over. 382 is like 555. Is it? And it's actually five. I think it's 547. Hold on, let me adjust that. Yeah, it's a little bit lower. So still pending levels to get tapped. And I'm starting to look. I want this final phase to commence. Let's get this over with. And then we get on with it because you really got two stories here. You got all this geopolitical nonsense. Yeah, looks scary. Looks a lot worse than a bunch of taco talk. But I think the bigger take is something like yesterday. With having the rocket launch going back to the moon. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a space geek, and I've been waiting for the United States to go back to the moon since I was a kid. So really great that that's happening, and I think it's a sign of bigger technological progress that's not stopping. You got millions of geniuses working on the future every day. That's extremely productive for the world. And that's the optimistic side. That's the optimist in me saying, look, as crazy as things might get, we're still moving forward. Where tech, other advanced industries, even and energy to a lesser extent, is just going to continue to rock and roll. So the progress begins. We keep going. That's right. I'm glad to see it. I mean, really, in light of everything else and the way that social media brainwashes people, I really got to say it's a much bigger deal than people are even, looking to. So let's see here. What do we got? 30-second time frame. Where's the Qs? Qs are what? 582. Even in light of everything, from 630 to 582 is not a hell of a lot of a retracement, at least yet. So let's see what shapes up here. Got nothing at the moment. I'm thinking we come back like we're right now for our session here. I'm looking for something like this to go down. And so, guys, keep an eye on it. I'm looking for like a 30-second dot confirmation and then send it back down. Something like I would look for the long. If we're going to really rock it, come on back down for a 24K retest and then go. That's kind of over the next hour or two. Again, no markets closed tomorrow, so everything's going to be squeezed into the next 2-3 hours. Wayne saying Sats and DXYZ are good plays space wise. I'll tell you what, this GSAT, shout out to Richmond Global Star. This is something that this is doing things. There's a few interesting kind of developments, but this Global Star, pretty interesting. What was that down at back at 20? Oh man, yeah, this was the one that I had back in 2020 and bailed on it. And I just got to stay with these longer term. But there's Global Star, GSAT, sitting at a hop level. But boy, once we get above 80, there's nothing left till higher levels. What was that other one? DX. What did you say? Would you have DXYZ? DXYZ. Um, Destiny Tech 100. Oh, that's like a space fund, right? Isn't that Wayne? Is this the SpaceX play, indirect SpaceX play? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Not a bad chart. I mean, hey, it's an IPO, did the 886 retrace, and maybe set up to get running again. I just think with plays like this, you're looking for the longer term swing move. I'm not really looking to trade stuff like this. I'm looking for things that can get in long term position and ride them. Yeah, I think we looked at this a little while back. Looking for the Type 2 back at 24. That would be all right. They own 13% of SpaceX. Well, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Funk. I like those. The other one was it ASTS or was it Rocket Lab? ASTS, AST Space Mobile. What was here? No, maybe it was Rocket Lab. Hold on. What's going on with this? One second. Rocket Lab. I gotta think that these are all, they're gonna get allocation. These are the kind of stocks that are definitely primed as like a next generation sector. And that's a hell of a chart, man. Rocket Lab is just a monster. Give me some dots, guys, and I think that's something to consider as well. Wait for the confirmation. As crazy as things have been, we're looking for confirmation. Down here it's a type 1 off the deep crab. We need to initiate the type 2 return. Yeah, I thought we would do it from here. Not yet. I don't know. That's a couple of the situations. I'll show you one or two interesting patterns, and then I'll jump over, take a quick look at Bitcoin, which is doing squat. A whole bunch of rare earth stocks like USAR, USA Rare Earth. Now, this is what I'm talking about in terms of not chasing overhyped plays and then let them come back and retrace. USAR, USA Rare Earth, put in a bet a few days ago, right here at 14 bucks, gave us the dot on Tuesday, and even today checked back. So this is in a go position. Talk about launch pad scenarios here. But, 14 bucks. We retested the open bar, which was 14.57, and then bang. So this is probably the best opportunity on this stock this year for sure. Maybe in a year, or certainly since back in December, although you didn't have much pattern wise. I can get into that. The other one I wanted to show you guys that was, you know, there are patterns developing, there are patterns setting up. And Take Two Interactive. This got clipped since the November peak, but here we go. Another beautiful type 2, no less, on the daily at 191. So trying to line these up, I would love to get that capitulation where market finally bottoms and then we get into that accumulation markup phase where all boats start to flow. I think it's more still on an individual level at the moment, but give it time. A few more. What do you guys? No, we can look at those. NNE, nanonuclear. Yeah, that was another one. That had the pattern. Look, that has a big pattern. Today we're getting that dot. All right, 2223 was a number we were waiting on. Not to mention this is a back-to-back situation or three. Big bat pattern, shark, and now come on back. So for these nuclear stocks, there you go. I would say today, off the bat, that's day zero. Tomorrow, day one, or Monday, day one, and retesting 20. I like those. Again, if they're total crap, this is going to 11, 12 bucks. But we'll start looking next week. It's there now. It's kind of like for nanonuclear, it's a lot like where we were almost exactly a year ago. The dot formed, and then check out what happened post dot, which is I'll look for this on Monday on nanonuclear. Is put in the dot, and then let's start getting some progress immediately. What was that? The nanonuclear bottomed incredibly. It was April 21st last year. Right there, and then follow through. Let's go. What else? What else? Pattern wise. What do you guys got? Anybody looking at anything interesting? We can dive in. Some of the big bad boys. So listen, I started buying a little Microsoft. I started buying some Microsoft. I might be a touch early, but I bought some around 369 yesterday. Not a lot, you know, like 50 shares. Just starting. I'm going to build a position into here, but it's kind of too juicy not to. And this might drop to 352. I don't know. Let's see. I just feel like this is way overdone. Way overdone. I will probably wait for Microsoft to get above the 50 level before adding and, take that position to like, I don't know, 300 shares, 400 shares maybe. I don't need to go crazy here. But I'm liking that. It's deep discount material, and it's starting to respond. The other one is Meta. I mean, I got down to 520 a few days ago. No confirmation yet, but you're down here where I have to start looking at this. I think it's still early. We might get a dot next week, but it's these are getting juicier, as they say. And then what was the other one? There was one other one. Oh, okay. So the other one that I'm really tempted to start a position in is Neo. And I've been talking about this for a little while. I really think of all the EV players, chart wise, this has got some fat pattern dynamics. And anywhere $6, 550, 50, shark to 50. So that's just a reaction. And then Neo should be getting back up to the 7, 8 mark, maybe as high as $9 within that pattern framework. Okay, I mean, it's pretty interesting. Tesla got clipped today on some bad numbers, but we know the deal there. That has to come in further. Weekly chart here on Neo. So again, there's some ideas, some things where like we could start it or go slow. Buy in chunks, sell in lumps, and kind of an idea here. But I don't. It's like last year. I don't want to get caught and going in early, even a week early, and then get the big capitulation move. Have to sit through a drawdown. Tesla. But it's coming, and guys, I'm still bullish longer term. It's just like last year. We're waiting out this retracement. It has taken longer than we thought. I thought this would be a January flush. It's more like a Q1 flush. So where will this end? Great, seriously, great to see that HSI, the arrow, has printed and that will print. Because here's Harmonic Strength Index. That's what that's related to. Popped out today, yesterday, really, in force. So let's see that thing develop and finish today. Today it will be the official day. Are we talking audio issues here, guys? Give me a sound check. I don't think I'll be losing anything today. I double triple checked everything, hard plug, new modem, the whole 9 yards. So again, people are telling me to go to AT&T fiber. I mean, I've got Starlink. There's a backup. I've got Comcast. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it out. Anyway, what are you guys looking at? Thank you. Appreciate it. Etsy. What's up, Mr. Castle? Etsy's one I have not looked at in a long time. Etsy, has that ever recovered? $51 down on Etsy. Weekly chart. Meh. Can we say it's really trending? Not really. You've got some lingering patterns back at $42. Looking left, that was technically that is a type 2. Incredible how that happens too. Look at this. Massive up to 300 all the way back. The XA level is 4205. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're trying to put in some higher lows, and that's a good sign for now. But I would give that a little more time. I'm more interested in things that have completed and trending. The other one that I showed you guys a little while back that seems to be getting ready to go is that Urban Outfitters. I'm hold on. Where'd you go? Urban Outfitters. No confirmation on the daily, but the weekly trying to put in this week. So I think maybe we can start looking next week. There are a number of these that have completed patterns. Here's the type 2 on Urban Outfitters, which is kind of crazy because why would a retail clothing company be a long opportunity in this crap environment? Because the pattern's there. I need confirmation, and I'd wait on the weekly. But look, T2 generated. It's somewhere. It's either 61 or 56, but that's the area I want to look for this thing. And in terms of like a trending vehicle, guys, I think we can all of us say that's what a trending stock looks like. So be aware of that. What else? FMCC. What are they doing with that one? Is that Freddie Mac? Sure is Freddie Mac. So Freddie Mac, I don't think a lot of you even know Freddie Mac was one of the villains, I guess, behind the '08 financial crisis, all the real estate garbage that went down. I won't get into it, but and was dead for a decade and came back to life because I think they thought Trump would kind of renew this. I do think there's some kind of play here, whether they spin it out or the government kind of reorganizes it. It had this kind of crazy move, but it's still early for this retracement play. I like the idea. I definitely like the idea in terms of speculative opportunities. Look at the monthly chart. You guys are going to blow your minds on the monthly chart for FMCC, right? Massive monthly shark. Monthly shark, fat. They treat that like an all time 886, but $6 now. I'd be looking more down there. I mean, this went to what? The financial crisis, the low was like 20 cents. Pretty crazy. But it took 10 years. 10 years or more. What was it in 23? It was 40 cents. I mean, that thing was left for dead. Now $6. Keep an eye on it. It's not a bad idea. Guys, most of you are putting up charts and they're good ideas and they're good kind of conceptual, contrarian, F the man kind of a thing. No matter what happens, stock market is, there's opportunities, perpetual opportunity in the markets. But we got to get it right in terms of the confirmation. Maybe that needs a little more time back at under 530. But, bring that back up in a week or so. A lot of these are triggering. Like this is, here's a random stock, okay? And like a lot of the ones I'm showing, coincidentally, they're generating oversold signals like the market is. That's kind of the thing you want to see. Bitcoin, guys. BTC. Let's jump into there really quick. What's going on? Bitcoin is, I don't know, man. Crypto and all of it. Again, crypto is just going to be a dead sector for the year. But always good to do at least a brief update. I'm watching, it'll be next week. Okay, but Bitcoin here is there checking back. Like that's the big harmonic situation. HSI there at the low is 65,834. We have checked back. This would be the first week, green week, but it's not until Sunday. You need two of those. Gonna need 2 weeks to turn green before anything goes down. So lots of time, and the target, and I just kind of reiterate, especially for new folks, my overall plan for Bitcoin remains again 786 minimum retrace here on the monthly. That 786, that's how we get down to that 39K ish number. And then the monthly chart, just so people know, go through its history. And I mean every cycle preceding the major move gave us at least an arrow with a dot on the monthly. There, that was 22. Back here on Bitcoin, that incredible. I mean, just amazing. Down there at, what was that? Like 15, the low on there. Low is 3,300 there in 2019. And we'll look for that next one. This is just, stair stepping. I'm not a fan really of most crypto, but Bitcoin store of value, I get it. You got a big enough fan base, I suppose, where this, it's not going to die on the vine, but let's just not be impatient. This will come to us. Bitcoin down there with a dot. And hey, if we get an arrow and a dot and it's 49K versus 39K, I'll take a hard look. What if I'm wrong about the 786? What would be the signal for Bitcoin longer term to end this cycle, end the bear year? It would have to be, look, monthly chart, HSI deep oversold. Okay? You're going to need a few months to get out of there, but the real trigger will be after it comes out and gets above the 50. So I'm firmly committed to this thing going lower. It's off 1,000 a day, right at 67K, not a biggie, but listen, you've got a long way to go. It'll be a long time before we're back above the 50 on HSI. And you can look at the last few instances where it monthly triggered. Here you go. There's the monthly triggers there, HSI. There's the dot. The dot came there on the 50 breakout. And that was February 23. The bottom was like December 22. So you've got months of time, guys. Go back even all the way to the cycle low in 19. All of that came in around March, but the real acceleration came in like April, May timeframe. So we'll get the signal, and it would still probably have 2 months. And for me, I think we bottom on Bitcoin probably, like later in the fall, towards the end of the year. Hit those big numbers, and then maybe we could start it all over again. But not until. Yeah, hopefully. I think so. I think so. What's up, technical? Technical saying that sub 50K. When is it going to happen? And I say stick on the 4 hour time frame. You've got a few things here, and we've been dealing with the Gartley at 62. We printed this shark. Not doing much at 66, but again, temporary. I say even on the 4 hour chart, we're going to have to come back. You're going to have to re-hit that 62.7. Too many numbers there. Too much going on there. So that's fine. No, I'm fine with that. So until then, it's not that you can't play it. I mean, I would just be continuing to wait and sell short-term pops. Not much beyond that. The rest of it, you're still in a long-term downtrend. The other ones, things like Coinbase and MicroStrategy have not made a lot of progress. Clearly still in a downtrend. off of Coinbase. We know the deal there. We had that pop at 150. What was 150? 150 was target 2. Target 2, put in a dot, and that's all that was, temporary. For Coinbase, we take out the lows here. The only thing left is an all-time 886, and I'm kind of partial to that. That this would be like an post IPO 886 reset. So again, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not really. I'm even on this as like a future long-term perspective. Honestly, I don't think Coinbase, the hype does not match the chart. This will end up being a big 886 reset, and we also the fact that you could not take out the all-time high. Basically, that puts that as a double top off the IPO. It got up there, rejected, and it was a type 2 bat pattern. So, you've got cause, you've got definite reasons why you would be looking for this just to continue lower. I mean, hey, if we got let's say we reversed it and maybe we had some kind of bat pattern that generated down here. Oh, that would give us something to look at, but we're not getting anything like that. I mean, really, if we were going to have a bat pattern, guys, on Coinbase, it would be like this, and the software's not kicking that out. Your 886 is there 175-ish, so keep an eye on all of that. We're still in this time frame where the market has just been sucking wind since September, and most long positions are not really playing out. There are a few, certainly not trending. Yeah, we'll see. What's up, Mr. Fisher? What's going on the golf course? How you hitting them these days? Nice to see you back in the chat. A couple others. Castles made of sand. Float into the sea eventually, right? Wants to look at Salesforce. And Salesforce, this was a darling tech stock getting destroyed. And it's a shark. We talked about this last week, though. It's a shark back at 122. So look out. This is a surprising one because this has been a trender for a long time. Look, you go all the way back here. That is impressive. But what happened? It was 350. Broke the trend line. I think you need a dot, and this is probably a good way to look at it, where you see an opportunity like this. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Hey, great stock off the top end of the channel. Now what? 50% decline. I still need a dot. There's the arrow. Give me a dot, and let's go. What about S&P, guys? Before I go any further, S&P is off 850 here. S&P 500, we've been hoping we get to 382. Now, we do have, same as NASDAQ. I mean, this actually, for the first time since last year, we have an oversold inflection. HSI is popping out. 650. Be great to close it for today. What about right now? 5-minute time frame on S&P. Where are we going on this? And that's RTH, by the way. Kind of flatlining here. Man, I don't get it, but there's been kind of lacking patterns in the regular trading hours. This was the pre-market. I think that's, pretty nice type 1 crab off the top. But probably need to retest 65.45. It feels like a lot like last week, where we had some big patterns, it popped, and we got to come back. No confirmation there yet. That's ES. Here's the SPY. And I talked about this last week of how critical the area down at like 630 was. Because it was we either hold there or we fall apart, and we reach for much lower levels. And SPY here, check this out. I mean, last year was insane, but it's like this. You just do this simple retrace. XAB, where's your 382? Not there yet. 382 is all the way there around 612, maybe 615-ish. That's the bigger retrace. That would be a great target within the weekly time frame. There you go. So let's see. Let's see how that shapes up. I would love to see this retest like 630 and then give us a dot, like a lot like we had in the last few instances. That was last year. The 2022 low, you guys see the same kind of a deal. We're getting signals at the critical lows. If they don't give it to us, then we just wait. But we're looking for this to develop. Like I said, that's bar number 1, week 1. And hopefully we can get a check back and maybe like 2 or 3 more weeks. Remember, last year it was quicker, kind of a harder down move. But then once we did that flush, guys, there was not a lot of time to jump on board. Remember last year was the deep crab, took its time, and we were looking for that retrace. It hit target 1 exactly, 382 at 482. That's what the retracement was. Pretty amazing. So just because we're not there yet doesn't mean we won't get there, but check it out. Is there to the 382. Where was it? The 382 swing. The T1 off the pattern's a little bit different. I won't get into why, but it just is. But that was the 382. But target 1 off of the pattern terminal bar was perfect. That's the secret, just so you know. So keep an eye on this. Market hasn't changed yet. We're still in the retrace phase. Can we retest 630? It's 629 to be exact. CRM at 140. I think CRM at 120. And again, it's not clear. Give it more time. Look, with everything going on, no need to rush in to catch the knife. We're close. I definitely think we're close, and I think once we get through all this, yeah, we're going to have kind of a resurgent move like we did last year. But it's not there yet, and last year showed us like what, a few days or 2 weeks, what a difference that makes. SoFi, SOFI, is a bat. Great, thank you. This is a great one. Okay, here's a great one. And lines up with a lot of the patterns we're seeing. Okay, here. But the dot is today on SoFi. So that puts it into starting the whole process next week. Go to Monday on this. Where are we? What is that Pippin? I don't know what that Pippin is. I can look at it. But quick check-in. NASDAQ trying to make a little bounce here. Give me, I want a pattern, confirmation. I'm really looking for some ideal, some ideal setup. Maybe 181 here at the hop level. No confirmation yet. I had this. I'm telling you, that trade on Tuesday, guys, where I went to click the button and the thing dropped. I was looking to short, and it dropped like 100 points within a second. right at the numbers. That messed me up. That messed me up for like 24 hours. There you go, 177 on NQ with the dot. Where are we going? 177. There's the dot on the 5. XA is 171. I kind of like that thing. Hold on. Hold on. We got to check back on that? Probably not. Watching 50. This is a great. Let's stay right here for a second, and I'll get to a few others. You got everything you want. Where's the T2 though? 1 second. Where's my T2? Ah, it's not a T2. Didn't. This is still a T1. Kind of a Dudley T1 because this had no confirmation, and then you had a counter signal. So there's the first confirmation on a T1. What's that, 175-ish? 176. But here, I'm looking at amplified. Where's amplified? Above the 50 and still going higher. So you see that thing, it's not ready. And did that just kiss the hop at the hop's 190. Hop is at 190 up there. Let's see. 30-second time frame. What's up there? Nothing on the 30. Really nothing. 181 hop level was just hit. Without confirmation on the 30 though. I'm tempted to take a whack at that. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe just trigger off that 5-second. 76. What's it? 77.75. Let's see what happens here. Can we get back up? Come on. No, that might be it for now. Back to 49. Hold on. Hold on. On the 5. Where's the 30 looking though? Yeah, 30's about to drop. Maybe that's it for now. You sucker. Hold on. Let me check ES really quick too. I had a limit at 178. Let me see if we got something on S&P. A little closer. It's there's a bat. We're at 10. No, this is what's been driving me nuts. Great pattern, no confirmation. And I'm just having to pass on these. NQ's probably a better setup there. What do we got? 130. Like I said, we'll probably go into power hour today, so no rush. And that's what the 5-hour or the 5-minute time frame for today looks like. Yeah, come on. Wake me up if we get up there to like 80-ish on NQ futures. I got my eye on it. I'm looking a little higher on NQ. Maybe for a short back at that hop level. Yeah, see, even on the 5-minute, that's a bullish for right now. Counter signal. Let's keep an eye on that. I do want to look at gold quickly, guys. Gold all over the place. I'll come back to this in a second. I'm not really too worried about gold, frankly. I expect plus minus $100 days. There you go. Down 131 here. And there you go. 4-hour chart. This big bat pattern still dictating the situation. All right. Still looking at 45.70s, your big XA level. I'm thinking that this bat is going to do work down here between 45 and 43. But the bigger, look, the bigger weekly area here. Just trying to work out this latest inflection. So again, it's been a hell of a 2 years, quite frankly. That was something that, when you got to 5,500, it was the all-time 3618. But we're still on a trend. Look, the trend on gold, guys, has not broken. The gold trend has not broken. So be aware of that. I'm watching NQ on the other screen here. Come on, what are you going to do? Meanwhile, silver, same thing. They knocked it down today, but I think you're coming back to this long-term trend, and you have some more work to do. But the longer-term accelerated trend, okay, that's just banging the lower end of that. I think we finish this out. Silver, gold, you're looking at these pretty much like trending tech stocks. Silver here with arrow, dot, diamond right now puts on the futures $69, $70. That's it. This should be a floor right here. Some people are looking double bottom. I would say just, be a little more patient. When is this going to resume? Like, when are we going to continue to see silver go a lot higher? When we can get firmly, and check out amplified RSI, firmly above that 50 line. Get it above from there to there. We're still, you can say we're still in a downtrend on silver. Just like that. Got to get above the 50 to set it free. Oh, what was the other one? There was some of the miners. Yeah, some of those miners, like I think CDE, a couple others, are down here putting in bullish support. And I think they're getting ready. I mean, this is getting to be another opportunity like you go back last year, it's kind of like that. Similar type of deal. Again, I don't think this gold story is over, and I think gold under 5,000, 4,500, it's a buy. It's just pinpointing the exact confirmation. Uh, how many dot days do you wait? What's up, AK? You wait for the dot, guys. You're just waiting the next bar. For the dot, you're looking for the dot to form, and then literally the next bar is where you're looking for that retest check back. I mean, it's like this. Here's CDE, core mining, big silver miner. The same kind of a thing. Okay, here is the dot. You start looking the next day. Ideally, look, your eyeball's there. That the dot is day 0. Okay, that's day 1, 1, 2, and then you're looking for, if you got levels, this one had a T1 at 1664. That's critical. Depends on what's going on there, but at least the dot says, hey, I'm starting to look the next day for other things to develop where we can assume this reaction is over. You know what? I'm going to remove this guy. If I think it is who it is, brother, I told you again and again, and I think you're doing it. Man, I'm going to block you, bro. Every time. You know who you are, man. I got to say goodbye, brother. And so this, you know not to call me, man. And so we got to remove you. I will remove you later. Anyway, I don't know why people do that. Like, he knows I'm on live stream and every time. And he's no longer a paying member. So it's like, really? A couple more, guys. Rivian is the other one I want to look at, where we're down here. Is this an opportunity really soon? We still need to, I think, check back to 14. But this is starting to. What's the problem with something like this? You just have to understand this is a weekly chart. So the development can take weeks, months, and it seems like, oh, this is never going anywhere. But this, Rivian and Neo are really close to coming out of these long-term holes in the ground. Again, trying to line up what's going to run. What markets really have a shot to kind of explode after we get through this retrace. What was the other one? Tesla. They had some bad earnings, bad numbers today. No surprise. And I love the stock. I really think this is going to be a big winner. But where's the next jump on point? Tesla down here. We've been looking for 340, guys, for a long time. I mean, you got to go back to last year on the weekly when we got to the target 2 and confirmation at around 444. Terminal bar was 48. That was basically the upper limit, and then saying, come on down. And so I look, I want Tesla. I want to get back in on this for the next few years, literally. I want to be involved when they're building all those robots. Yeah, I want to be a shareholder when they're releasing the robots and they've got the driverless taxi and all of that. Where is the deep value price? I'll first look at 340, but because this weekly is a type 2, I would not be surprised to see this go to target 2. That's the framework. In action. 249, guys. That would be deep value. And we look at HSI on Tesla. The weekly is deeply oversold. Hasn't come out of the oversold area yet, but just be patient with it. I mean, we're not surprised that Tesla's lower, are we? The other thing about Tesla that is pretty interesting, you've got all of those other little vehicles, like the directional daily Tesla 2X ETF. Look at that. Okay, when this only moves when Tesla's moving. And with all of these patterns, where's the buy? Ask yourself, what is it? Type 1, type 2. We're in a type 2 return. Where are the levels? $9. This pattern back here, I mean, it did the same thing. A rager all the way up, then it came all the way back down for the type 2. Now, type 1, perfect, dot, diamond on the weekly. Send it back down, 9.11, 9.11 cents. Or a little lower, but again, that's another reason why I'd be looking at Tesla, letting it come lower. Could be another 100 lower on the primary stock, the underlying. And then the other ones were like I think this is the 1.5. No, this is the Granite shares, 2x long. Where's the opportunity? For those that have been here for a while, you guys know the deal. We go type 1 reaction, okay? Then we do the type 2 return. Note, we have beautiful confirmation. Type 2 return back at 1398. Currently 1961. So Tesla still lower. I want to be a buyer. It's kind of like Bitcoin. It's a definitely something that you want longer term, but we're clearly in this retrace. Wait for that full type 2 test, and it reminds me of SMCI. Remember this with the type 2? SMCI at 2227. All right, it has completed. No confirmation yet, but I now have my eyeballs on SMCI. I think this is deep value. Really, you want to buy something on a super discount? It looks like this. Now I need some confirmation down here. The number is 2227 on SMCI, but I don't even have it on a daily. Daily chart, yeah, there's some things lower. Not worried about that. I'm just simply waiting for the dot configuration. Yep. What else? Yeah, look, silver and all of those gold, silver, please understand, these are finishing this heavy retrace, but they are opportunities. They're definitely, they need a little more time, but look, they are opportunities down here. Just we got to line them up. Remember, most of you, probably all of you, were trading a year ago, and you know what that looked like. It seemed chaotic, but we knew that retrace was coming. And when it finally bottomed out and did the capitulation and turned around, I was like, that's it. And the same kind of a deal. Here's one we've been following, guys. This is Paramount Skydance. I do think it's time to start buying this thing. This, we've been waiting on this bat pattern for a long time. Now, we got the confirmation. We've got a secondary low on the daily. We bottomed out down here. Didn't hit the hop, but that's okay. Clear breakout. So, this is another one. Literally like 2 days ago, we generated it. Yesterday, we had a diamond. I'm down here, and I want to be down here where it is still a type 1, but you're targeting 1436. And it looks a lot like Warner Brothers before Warner Brothers did its move. Remember Warner Brothers? It's another stock we talked about for a long time, and it took a while. It took a while before it did its move, but Warner Brothers Discovery was all these patterns. It was like 9 to 13 general area. All your confirmation was like 990-ish, hop at 9, and that completed in November 23, but it didn't move until June of 25, like 18 months later. But that's the same situation as Skydance, Paramount Skydance. I like that. Again, patterns that are presenting themselves. Put that on the list. I like that one. Couple others. Yeah, Chipper. I would take Tesla at 250 too. CoreWeave. CoreWeave is like that. Yep. Another 886. I like this one, okay, because it did the IPO explosion. Now coming back for your 886 reset. I mean, currently 80. 886 is more like 60-ish, 55-ish. I think you're close. Yeah, okay, I do remember this. It was a shark. It's a shark pattern down here. And the daily's a nicer chart. Look, can we draw an M formation? I think so. It's not an ideal structure, and I'll tell you why, because your B point, little too deep to be a Gartley or definitely a bat, but it's generally like this is the way I would look at that. 886-ish. But I like the idea. A lot of these, I'll show you a couple that did some crazy 886s, and now they're coming back. Marvel, guys. Marvel Technology, talk about recovery. This thing got left in the dust all the way back here. It was last year. Last year was 48. Okay, we have recovered, doubled, and Marvel. I like this because Marvel. This is a trender. So despite last year, this is one of these that the trend looks phenomenal. Okay, keep an eye on this because this could bust out a lot like others that we've seen, like Micron, SanDisk. Here's Micron. I mean, you're kind of looking for, or I am, on Marvel. You're looking for a crazy move like this that Micron did. Big trending, and then you get the explosion. So that's, for me, if you're looking at Marvel, you're like right here before the big move. And I do think that can happen. MRVL and the other one is on semiconductor. Okay, this is these are recovering. There's a whole list of semis that got knocked on their tail a year or two ago, and now they're finding big support and recovering to where at least run right back to the all-time high, which for on, I think it's around 65 or, yeah, well, we're currently 6150. All-time high is 110. So where do you get this? Go to the 4-hour chart, start looking. Shark to 50 just completed at 55. ON semiconductor, on semiconductor. That's two. The other one was, well, Tower Semiconductor. This thing has already gone ballistic and had a hard sell off, but now look at it. This Tower Semi is another one that this trend continues. We had a 4-hour, it was at 3 days ago. Tuesday, we triggered the 4-hour at 165. So that one, and then here's another one that I recently bought, Lattice Semiconductor, down here around 85-ish. What was on the hourly? Yeah, back here, the bat, 83. It's perfect. So, there's a few of these that are, I think, in great position, semiconductors, to keep running. What else? You get to go on that. Netflix. Yeah, I think you got to look at Netflix. I think you got to look it into it. All of those got crushed to 74 on. I think that was like a just big fake news. Netflix. The only problem I have with Netflix, okay, no dot. I wish we had a dot off of that last signal. But yeah, maybe so. It's more, I think, about the monthly, and the monthly triggered just last month for March. The low on that is $90. Currently 97. That would be the buy point. I think this on Netflix, guys. This is one of those trend retracement opportunities. But let's retest it. It's a very similar to what you saw in 2022. What was that down there? It was $22. Then it went to 135, back to 75, and let's go again. Let's go. A lot of similarities to the prior run in 22. Check this out. Because you might say, well, it broke the trend line. Well, it did that same thing from the 15 to 21 market. It's like that. It broke the trend line, broke down, but look, there's the arrow. There's the dot. We'll be looking for that. Again, I feel like these are close or are getting closer to triggering some massive continuation opportunities. And I don't disagree. The comment was, what's up, Wayne? Wayne's saying the comment was to go to 121. Let's do the dance next month or so. Let's come back and retest 90 and start to stabilize, but why not at least go retest 886? I think that's where you get your 120 number, 130. But it's going to be another month or two down here. $90 is the number. What else we got? Oh, looks like NQ rolling over. Let's take a shot. Hold on. Take a look at NQ really quick here. Little dot on the downside as I went off on. Yeah, see, there was that shark at 180, but no confirmation. That's been a real, you know. I'll come back to this. A couple more. You guys have a whole bunch of stuff today. Peng, Peng. Hey guys, if we get a dot on that, let me know. Penguin Solutions. That's a semi. Not a bad chart. I mean, doesn't look like much, but you do have some weekly dot action. There's your IPO 886, and then type 1, type 2. I kind of like that. You're up 260. Hold on, what is this? It's a semi. Why is it up today? I don't know. Again, maybe go on next week. Maybe next week, because that is a response bar right there. There's the dot. Remember what I was saying. The next bar is when you start looking. You start looking there. So, okay, you turned around. Think of it this way. That's your first 3-bar breakout right above there. 1846. I don't know if it's going to win, guys. Stuff like this does not take a lot. It does not take a big allocation for, especially in the semiconductor space, with the way that these have been popping off. Yeah, this just gets some exposure. Next week, today it's up 2. You can't chase it, but maybe you fat finger it next week. Fat finger long, that is. Kind of a shark to 5-0. But I'm looking for more like that. Earnings were yesterday, and they must have been good. Let's see what else. Oklo. What's up? Mr. Ken is back in the house. What's up, Ken? Yeah, I can look at a couple crypto guys. I'll look at Velo in a second. I'm not. I mean, I can't imagine anything has developed between yesterday and today in the crypto space, especially with Bitcoin down once again. Oklo is, I think these are weekly. These are more the weekly stories with this. And Oklo, like nanonuclear, I think they're going to need to do some things. They're going to take more than 1 bar. I've got no pattern here. Okay, the last dot that interesting. This is a good way to think about it too. Like, here is the dot, right? Where's the retest point? Right there. So if you start looking for that retest at 81 and you got nothing, I mean, look at this. There's the retest point. Everything is trending lower. We're back in oversold. You're gonna have to wait. That's got to develop. That's not the way that the indicators are designed, guys. Let them come out of the zone, okay, and then get above the 50. And you had that. Look, last year. You want to know if something's a buy or not? Okay, look at HSI. Just not even the pattern first. Just look at HSI. Where are we? We're similar oversold as we were back in March 2025, 1 year ago. I mean, to the week. Again, here we go, to the week. And then we didn't pop out until 3rd week of April. And you didn't have a dot until, what was that, May. So I know this stuff looks juicy. It's a good idea, contrarian idea that is on the retrace from 175 down to under $50. But we need the signal. And then look at where, once we clipped above the 50 right there, which was May, then we were able to expect and we got the acceleration. That's how we look at those setups. There's a number of things that have sold off viciously, like this. Okay, they're still trying to turn around and bottom. I mean, NVIDIA, okay, we know it's a strong stock. It perfectly hit the 382. No confirmation on the weekly, not yet. I don't even think we didn't register there. But this would be, because we hit the 382, which is, let me get that right. Your 382 level was right there. 382. was 163. Hold on. It's like it was the exact low pretty much, which was the number we've been waiting on. I would say this is week one on Nvidia, and not a bad idea here. Some daily confirmation, okay. You got to be expecting that. Well, there's nothing on the weekly. The monthly's not there yet. So treat the whole thing. Take it into next week. I mean, the fact that we responded at that 163 level, which is what we talked about since last fall, because we were at a 1618. 1618, it's like this. Pretty easy. Even if you don't know the patterns or don't care about the patterns, I think the singular metric, harmonic measure, is a 1618, like that, to the 1618, which was generally there, 190-ish, 193, to a 382. And that is the kind of the primary harmonic response. You go to a 1618 or above, you're naturally going to have to digest that time and at least give it up to a 382. That's the general expectation. Nvidia doing that. Of course, great company, the leader. Where's the buy? Where's the next jump on point? We haven't had one. You got to go back, like I said, last year, which was even retesting stuff from 2024. Not a lot going on there. NQ, come on. NQ, what do we got? Meh. What are we going to do here? Hold on. 30-second. No, not a hell of a lot going on there. Crab pattern at 73, but come on. Let's keep it on the 5 for a second. Even that. Oh, wait a minute. Let me move that off. Down there at 90. I want some patterns, guys. One or two more. Stock Velo 3D is not as all right. I'll look at that for a second. What's up, Jack? What's the best way with the Type 2 to find entries above lower bands on HSI? I'm not really using HSI bands as much, but I can look at that. Let me look at Velo here. Velo 3D stock. Maybe that was the problem. I was looking at the crypto. It looks like a crypto. What are we going to do with that? I don't know what you can do with that. I mean, maybe there's the daily. But guys, your stock looks like that. Again, probably 9 out of 10 chances you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to do a hell of a lot. This is not trending. This is basing that can go on for a long time. And I might be wrong on it. And you might catch a 10x on it. But stacking your odds in your favor, it's just not where to be fishing. I would go at Nvidia at 165 all day long, then try to jump on this thing. I mean, the chart's screaming just, hey, I'm flatlining. Again, Velo 3D. I don't know what they do. I was aware of the crypto Velo. I guess that was Velo Finance. But even with this, look, we're checking back this week, and you need development. Development for me is you get the signal like an arrow, you retest it, and then green bar and green bar. Not there yet. Yeah. Oh, you asked for Pippin earlier. What is that? Pippin. Not Pitcoin. Hold on. What's the symbol on Pippin, my friend? I don't know. Why are we looking at this? What is Piper Sandler? Piper Sandler. Yeah, I can do that. That's trending. That's, weekly confirmation, hop level 74. And what is this? This is an investment banker. Yeah, that's a much better stock. I don't know. I don't know what that Pippin is. I know we looked at it last time. I will look at Palantir. What's up, Castle? It's made of sand. Remember the shark? There you go. The shark here on Palantir. What it do? Just a lame reaction, right? And it's back into the zone. We retested that confirmation, but I'm thinking 131 is going to has to get tagged again. Weekly time frame did that? No. So this as well. I mean, I get what you're saying that we should start looking at Palantir because it's a 25-30% correction. But can we retest the arrow at like 130, 129? I would. I would prefer that. It's looking better than it did a month or two ago. The final piece that I want to see, and this is on a weekly chart, so no harm in just being patient until next week. And we have to get above the 50. The question earlier was, how do we get the type 2 entries with confirmation? Let me see if I can find one for you. The type 2. All right, here's a great one. So it's a really good question because when we're looking at type 2s, we want that dot confirmation. And here's kind of an ugly one, but this is the way to think about it, guys. The patterns are awesome. And I am still get amazed after all these decades, like how do the patterns form? They come together, they get rejected off the levels, but there's variability. That's why we are always demanding the confirmation strategy. Here on Palantir, there was a type 1. The confirmation was a little delayed, but it still worked out. There's the T1. Now, T2, software designated. And the question is, well, if I see a T2 on the software, where's the entry? You need something like this. And it came after a huge move down and then came right back up. That's still valid. Think of it this way. That's the first time within the type 2 where we have confirmation. And so it's really tough, guys, to get on. Like software will kick out a T2 and then just blindly get on it because a lot of times without confirmation, it'll overrun the zone. You'll miss a ton, no doubt. You will miss opportunities that might drive you nuts, but you have to be patient and let the ideal stuff, which is like this, there's T2. Okay, over here is the confirmation. Start looking here. The other question is like, what about amplified? What about, what should be happening there? If we're looking for it to go down with all of them, but again, you're not going to expect real movement until HSI cracks the 50, which is like right there. And then final piece of amplified. Amplified RSI, that's our other proprietary indicator. It cracks the 50 right there. The way that I think about that is finally the internals, the price action, because it's relative to the prior price history. It's at that point where internally it starts to break apart and break down. And even this still took, what was that? 15 bars or so before we got a real rollover. But every time the answer it bluntly is that I need this kind of a thing. I need arrow dot diamond or just simply at least a dot in that area. And check out Palantir. just in the last month. Uh, it was a type 1 there with the bat, and then the 2 with no confirmation. So that I can't say that that's, hey, just because we printed a 2 and it worked out, it still, for me, would not be a trade opportunity. Big difference. It's important to note that. But again, I would want confirmation. Maybe we could come back and get some confirmation here. But without that dot, and we've really tried to make it simple, arrow dot diamond kind of a thing to really highlight. You're looking for the software to kick out the T1. That's your structural level. But we still need that confirmation. I'll see if I can pull up one or two other examples of that. But for just to be absolutely clear, guys, you're going to line up positions. They're going to give you perfect harmonic levels and then not always give you perfect confirmation for the trigger. You just have to accept that as a part of the process. That's it. And if you can't, then you got to get over yourself. Believe me, I've had that conversation with myself many times. Like, get over it. A lot of times I find myself just caring too much. Like, I want it now. I want the move. I want the thing. I want the cash. No, you can't. You got to hit it. You got to wait. Here's a great one. Here we go with NASDAQ on a type 1 on the 4-hour chart. It's not ready. We got the arrow. Diamond, great. Where is my dot? On the 4-hour chart, this probably will not happen until Sunday night. Look for Sunday night, but here you go. Okay, I want to short it. Like, I want to short the market right now because I do think with this type 1 currently that we will go back and retest XA level next week, 23,464. But not until I get the dot. Don't get impatient. You find yourself in that spot, just understand there's specific things that have to happen to generate the signal to go from pattern to trade opportunity. This is probably going to take you to next week. Yeah, a couple more. Pippin USDT. Oh, it's a crypto thing. All right. Is that Scottie Pippen? Is it Scottie Pippen a crypto? I don't know. How about a couple others? Tap. Molson, right? Molson Coors. This is interesting, right? Nobody's drinking anymore. Anybody drink beer anymore? Everybody's smoking. Cigarettes and other things, I guess. But the beverage stocks, man, they used to be monster opportunities. Molson Coors. I remember when Coors was trading on its own. It was like that one and Samuel Adams were like monsters of the early 2000s, and they've been crushed. Tap Daily Type 2. I like it. Are we getting paid to hold the sucker? 4.33% yield. Interesting. I love the Canadian Molson, by the way. The stuff that you get in Canada. It is different. It's kind of like Mexican Coca-Cola. But pattern-wise, there's a T2, my friend. There's a T2 with the kind of confirmation that I was just talking about. The XA level's 44. Confirmation, that's like 42. So you could probably start in on this. Looking for today, maybe next week, but pick up 4%. I can deal with that. What's the weekly look like? Here's the weekly, and looks good. All right. I mean, listen, still early. Can we retest that low at 41? This is another one to get on the radar. This is kind of like Target from the end of last year. What about others? Like, I haven't looked at Samuel Adams in a long time. Boston beer. Boston beer. Boston beer looking good. There you go. And remember, look at this. This is amazing. Yeah, look at what this one did. Boston beer was 1,300, now 200. But that's the first pattern opportunity in decades. Yeah, I remember this thing. Yeah, it was like this. This is Boston beer. Incredible. Went from off the '08 low, went from 10 to 1,300. I'm now back to 200. I like that, guys. I like this Boston beer down there at 203. And what about Budweiser? Now that they are no longer woke, they actually, Bud, they had the crab at 49 at the low. And these are going to take a long time to develop, but not bad. I mean, what's that dividend yield? 1.4. I like the I like that tap. By the way, who brought that up? Uh, Appreciate that. Couple others. Yeah. What was the other one? AZTA. I'll look at that. Couple more here, guys. Nasdaq's coming back. Give me something here. Hold on. We got a couple of things going on here. Hold on. Hold on. There. Bad pattern. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm back. Oh, the other one I wanted to look at, guys, before I get out of here, Caterpillar just continues to rock. And I think just watch what this does because Caterpillar is coming off this long-term trend line, and I'm looking for this to break out. It's just another stock. Like if you things that are working, put Caterpillar in your pocket. 718 currently. I'm looking for this thing to go to 880, 900 within the next 12 months. Shouldn't be a problem. Can do. A few others. I'll go to those crypto in a second. I'll look at a couple crypto. Uh, you know, Fun. Six Flags. 'Tis the season, right? Fun is this is a monthly thing. I remember this. There you go. Okay, so here's Six Flags. And not the best of trending situations, but is this a recovery at 18? Maybe. It's a monthly bat, guys. That's pretty crazy. And it's a type 2. But, you know, I'm willing to look at that. But it's just a recovery play. Limited upside. Maybe you go to T2 and it doubles or something, but you need more work. Here is kind of circling back to that question of where is the trade opportunity? There you have a T2 generated right there. Patterns completed. Arrow. Any check back? Not yet. 1450. Give it time. And if I'm going to be late on it, at least I will say there's monthly HSI at a 50 level. So you're a lot closer than you were 3 months ago. Where price acceleration can happen, it's probably at the end of this month. But not a bad idea. Really not. What was the other one? AZTA. I don't know if I've ever heard of that one. Azenta. Never heard of that. Uh, yeah, here we go. Another monthly swan dive. No confirmation, my man. Really nothing there. I mean, it kind of looks like crypto. Kind of looks like crypto. It's hold on. Weekly? Okay, I got you. The weekly's there, And it is a type 2 on the crab. Yeah, okay. I mean, harmonic wise, you need to wait. You got to let this week pan out. And probably 2 more weeks to retest and print a dot. You're 22 bucks. Somewhere around 21, maybe as low as 17, maybe. Maybe. You know something about this? Medical nursing services? If you got some inside info, let us know. I don't think anyone really cares about trading on inside information anymore. That used to be a thing. Now it's like a legitimate strategy for a lot of people, especially inside the government. Like, hey, what's your investment approach? Inside information. That always works, especially if you've got the goods. That was good though. I like that. Okay, you guys have a lot. All right, let's rip through. I'm gonna rip through these last few. Ambev. What happened there? Ambev, wasn't that okay? I mean, the name is familiar, but why is this trading at $2? Why is that trading at $2? Ambev. Again, you want to speculate there. Just understand, you're something like that, you're going to sit in it for a while. If you're really looking for a turnaround play, again, to go from like 2, it is a type 1, up to target 1, I mean, that could take 2 years. But it's not a bad idea. A little overbought at the moment, but okay. At least it's now on my radar. Keep an eye on that one. The fun breakout. Well, the fun has got. I think it's like next week. You got to wait on it like that. Yeah, maybe if the fun was a monthly thing. I want trending stocks, guys, like Google. Who? What's up, DJ Mixer. Google's like this. 294. Look at that chart. That's insane. That is an insane chart. And I think Google L has got the total history. Yeah, there's your total history. Unbelievable. God. 263. Unbelievable. Um, yeah, Google needs some time. Google is a monthly. We have anything here? Shark. Yeah. But the shark's like 281, guys. Be patient on that. Google's in this retrace where the weekly retrace where it's got a little more work to do. There's your weekly this week, but retest it at 270. The way this kind of is lining up this week, generating a lot of overbought signals, but that's like step 1. Now let's see if we get into April 1st, 2nd, 3rd week of April, where we do the hard retest, stabilize, and then by the end of the month, we're running. We're running. What was that other one? Oh, it escapes me. Was it N phase? That's kind of doing. Yeah, N phase is one I brought up a while back. Absolutely decimated, but this one is now. This is what we were saying. Let this come back. Perfect example. Great pattern. Great weekly pattern. If you're looking for a major turnaround, let it come back, retest, and get us a dot down here. Another dot or some kind of oversold. N phase is like the rest of the solar plays. Remember, I think it was CSIQ. CSIQ back down here. Canadian Solar, which is not a Canadian company, by the way. It's Chinese. But that's one retesting. Solar Edge. Definite things to be looking at. Solar Edge getting rejected off of this little crab, but you know the bigger deal. The bigger deal is the big bat pattern, but I still need to see some confirmation. That's going to get rejected. We talked about that on Tuesday. Hop at 52.94. Total rejection. Let it come back in. First Solar. First Solar like that. The dot is today, this week. We'll start looking next week at these solar names. Absolutely. NQ. Let's see here. Check back in there. Little bat. All right, I kind of like what's going on here. 24,140 was the check back, but this is you got a couple things here. Got to retest this crab pattern, and that's back at 73. Let's see if we get right there, 30. Let me see if we can get back to 35. That would be the spot to hit it. Let's see if we get that. We'll finish up with a short here, but it's back at like 35, 38. I'll take a couple more. Yeah, STLA, Stellantis. STLA. Stellantis. I thought we looked at this last time, and it was kind of a nothing burger without cheese. Oh, you got a dot. All right, listen. What's the one thing we're seeing all over the place, guys? We're seeing arrows, we're seeing dots. So that's a starting point. We will start looking next week for real opportunities. And I mean real opportunities for the first time in like 6 months. I do think we're close. There's a deep crab on the daily. Okay, not bad. I mean, while we're here, what's Ford look like? Because that was getting crushed. Ford weekly, maybe back at $9. But a lot of the ones that have triggered, okay, next week would be week 1. That would be the first place I'd look at that. What's up? Mr. Sand wants to look at Lumentum, Light. So this is probably the best performing stock in the market. This thing is just a monster. What's the market cap on this sucker? 54 billion. That's insane. That is insane. This was 5 billion. Yeah, this was 40 billion. Sorry, $4 billion company at the low a year ago. A year ago. 20x. And it's not crypto. That is pretty insane. You know, there's one that I've got that I'm looking at, this Intuitive Machines Lunar. And it's a type 2 on the daily. But this thing has got potential. LUNR. I'm watching it. And we might react and spend some time bouncing around 22. But I'll say this. Once you crack 27, this thing is set free. There's a few of these. But that's one. The other one, Lamb Research. You know, Lamb Research just rocking. Hitting some overbought levels up here. But Lumentum is like coherent. There's no confirmation. In fact, look at the last confirmation we had. Last confirmation, even after the huge run, was a bullish weekly HSI to send it. And I would just like, with something like this, maybe hourly, maybe just look for hourly dots. I'm not chasing that, but hourly dot, hourly dot. The other one was SanDisk, which is up, another one up like almost 20x off its IPO re-release like this. Insanity. Oh, here's the one. Coherent, guys. If you've never heard of that one, again, these are data center plays. Pretty remarkable. 258. Uh, give me a dot down here at like 220. Things that are running, which aren't a lot, but they're doing phenomenal things. Coherent is another one. I would look for this. Let it come back. But look, every time you get a 4 hour dot, the last one was January, sends it. So maybe early stages there. There. Keep an eye on that stuff. And again, the rest of the market is getting close. It might be 2 or 3 more weeks, but once we get through this, we will bottom out and we will trigger these signals. Oh, Digital Ocean, guys, DOCN. That's another one that I think has got big possibilities. I mean, it's screaming. Okay, 40 to 80 since September. This will keep going. I would look at the next entry, retest somewhere around 78. I mean, this is phenomenal. There's your weekly chart. Clearly massive runner. Other names, guys, give me some other names that are running hard like this. I mean, Nebis, NBIS is another one. Nebulous, whatever. Put in this high level HSI on the weekly at 85 at the beginning of the year. Currently 105. And I'm just trying to wait for stuff like this 95, 98-ish. These, when the market turns around, what are these things going to do? They will continue to run hard. Yeah. Jeremy Fergus wants to look at LAC. I'll show you. I showed you USAR. LAC, Lithium America, is down here at $4. Remember, this is all about the massive monthly bat pattern. And we're back testing XA level. You're going to be here. I still like it. Okay, stay with it. But it's a massive bat. XA at 398 is your number. It's going to take a while to get to target 1. But it will. I mean, remember, guys, I started out the show and I showed you USAR. And USAR, crazy, but look at it now. Okay, that's something where cat is out of the bag with a big parabolic move like that. You go from 13 to 40 all the way back down. Bang, bang, bang. There you go. Bat pattern right there with the dot 2 days ago. Check back today. That's the thing you want to look for. There's a few of those. We said that about PLG as well, and I think PLG was one people wanted to chase at $3 or $4. Now it's set up. Now you got patterns. Now you got confirmation. Not the greatest. There's much better plays here, but it just that's in a spot where all of the signals that you want to see that define the opportunity have now triggered. Today, check back. Start looking there. What's that? What are you trying me on? I don't know. GoPro, hello. I don't know what that is. Why? Why GoPro at 74? Isn't this going to go bankrupt? I mean, it's pretty crazy. Bat pattern if you wanted to speculate, but I don't know why. Why would you speculate? I think this thing is destined for either a reverse split or I mean, the problem with these is that if they don't work out, you lose all your money. It's not a bad idea. You have another dot this week. Take it to next week. Let's see if we get anything to pop up on that. I again, of all the ones that look like this, I think the Paramount Skydance thing is something where, the daily for the first time putting in what you want to see. I mean, that's the kind of recovery candidate that I would start to take seriously. Don't know. Don't know. Unity? Unity ready? Maybe on the daily. On the daily, that's 22, 2250, kind of. Again, not really. Can't say it's trending. I would take Walmart. I'd take Caterpillar over this any day. Microsoft over something like this. The problem is if it doesn't work out and you just go sideways, you're going to be stuck in the position. That's it. I mean, that's the issue there. No worries, Jeremy. Thanks for showing up today. John Hanson wants to look at Mosaic, and I think there was something there. I like Mosaic because I think this fertilizer trade and the potash trade is definitely underserved. This is a massive retrace. I like the Type 2. Look, software's kicking out the T2 right there. Hey, let's give away one 30-day package to somebody who has not won. Has not won. Type in HPC 30. We'll give away one 30-day package and we'll give you a gold membership with that. If you have won and you respond, you will not be fulfilled, okay? And that's the new policy. I said that earlier. I want to help people out and give them access, but only if you did not win, okay? So one of those. Hitesh, have you won before? Come on, Hitesh. I don't think so, man. Tomas, I know you did. Tomas, 72. You got it. Wayne, you're over. I know, man. Come on. You're almost mocking me at this point. uh, uh, P.S. People, what's up, Rob? Rob is saying, P.S. People study maybe 5 years, or maybe it takes 20 years. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you have a goal. I don't think it takes 5 years. I think it reasonably you make the breakthrough within 30 days. But I think what you're saying is probably truer in terms of what's the purpose to all of this. Obviously to make money, but it's more about financial responsibility and understanding how markets work. That's primary goal here, objective, show you guys harmonic pattern framework to be able to think for yourself and identify opportunities on your own, not from someone else. Again, I can show you patterns all day long, but ultimately you got to make your own decisions. I think we do enough examples, we highlight what works, what doesn't work. You get the picture that this stuff repeats over and over again. The pattern levels are pure fire, and they give you a major understanding of the framework of what to be looking at, what works, what doesn't, instead of just kind of like taking a guess. Guessing does not work in the markets. But it's a great comment. I appreciate you sharing it. And that's what we do here. We do. NQ off 90 right now. Never came. It's been this lackluster stuff. What are we, 230-ish? Yeah, we did take two. Trip on Magic, we did take two, and that's a type 2. Say that fast a few times. Take two, type 2. Confirmed. I showed that in the beginning. BKSY. What is that? Black Sky. What is that? I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. Package software. That's a nice chart. I mean, that's kind of a sleeper chart. Oh, look at this. Look at that deep crab, guys. But this is what? How many years? 4 years? Incredible. 4 years in the making to get it out of that hole. 7 to 30, but that's an interesting pattern. I just, mm, I would need a signal. Go to the 4 hour chart on that. It's not, it's ready for, it needs a retrace, especially with a long term basing structure like that. Yeah, that's all right. I don't know. What are we doing here? I'm looking. Oh, there's a dot. Did we do the T1? Yeah, we did T1. There's the dot at 106. Yeah, that's all right. Let me see here. 119. Yeah, it's good. I prefer those trenders, guys. Hold on one second. Um, where is 1 second? Was it 119 there? What's that? Right here. Little type 2 on the 5 second here for the shark. Confirmation 119. Let's keep it. Can we turn that around? Hold on. I just got short at 119.25. Hold on. Stopped out. Get out of town. Really? Hold on. 119's the number. Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. Hold on. 119.25-ish. Let's see. Roll that back down here. There you go. I just got short at 119.25. Here's our trade of the day. I'm going to go stop loss break even, guys. That's just a 5 second. We're looking for it back to like 09. I'm going to go break even right now or plus a couple. We're looking for, it's a 2, right? Yeah, it's a 2. Looking for 101. Let's see if we get that. Stay with it for a second. I'll wrap up on this trade. I've been looking for something like this the whole session. Fucking son of a bitch. Hold on. Take one more shot. This has been happening. Not a perfect setup there for the 2, and I don't get the runner. Let me try one more time. Yeah, because HSI is going the wrong way. Stay with it. Hold on. Let's do one trade. One more trade here. Looking for, you bastard. Hold on. Can we get back to 19 one more time? Hold up. I'm going to end the show here. One more trade, guys. 119 should have worked. Sweet. Where's hold on, HSI. I got to get HSI pointing in the right direction here. Currently not. 119 was a good shot on a 5 second. But this kind of sideways garbage has been happening a lot lately. It's been low volume action. Here we go back up. Maybe we go to the hop at 27. Hold on. Let's hang in right here one more time. Retest 17 on that one. Let me try one more shot. Come on. Let me look at the 30. Yeah, there's that. Well, 30 doesn't have anything. What about the 5? Not impressed. Let me see if we get one more retest there. That was good for like 10. But that is a type 2 for sure. That was, one of the nicer. The shark is a type 1. And then there's the 2. Hold on. You. Come on. 2 shots there. Both of them squat. Hang on here. Really quick. One more shot here. Uh, where's the other one? Hold on. Well, I look, once I get the rule is once I get that separation, there goes the move. I should be getting it an immediate breakthrough. Good idea. There was the 101. Hold on. I'll hang on a couple more minutes. Let's see if we get one more shot. Looking for the breakdown, guys. Don't forget we're still just in a type 1. 4-hour time frame weekly. Not weekly, sorry. 4-hour and a 5-minute as well. We did this yesterday where we didn't really get set free until the aftermarket. But at least we got the direction, lined it up right. 119, we were looking for 101. Let's try it again. This has been the other thing I've seen a lot. Just we get into these kind of dead time frames and you get quick 10 point and then check back a couple times before it goes. That's the type of setup though. 5-second time frame. You hit the level, you produce the trigger, and then you check it back. 1 and 2, and you're already back there. All right, here we go. There's the 2 now. Go back. Did we wait a minute? What the heck? We retested that bullish pattern? Because, yeah, there was at 05. All right, let's see if we get one more. I think above that hop level. Give me a dot. Let's stay on this really quick. I'm going to finish up and then I'll roll out. 37. Nope. Nope. Can we dot me? 30-second time frame. What do we got? 30 seconds, probably the better pattern, though. I will say that. There is a T2 up here, but confirmation, almost. Let's keep it on there for a second, and we'll wrap up with this. Not a bad shot on that 5-second, but it happens that fast. All right, there's a dot. There's a diamond. Da, da, da. Is it? What's the number there? What's that dot number? That dot number is 44.75. And the 30-second time frame is 43.75. But no confirmation here. Drives me crazy. I mean, I want the perfect setup every time. There's a T2 printing right there, right now. But is it a trade opportunity? You need something. You need a dot. You need an arrow. And that could come in a delayed situation. That 5-second, we were just here. And you did that quick 20 point, but then bang, right back up. What I was also looking at, but I thought it was a little lower, was we had this prior crab pattern. And that always helps. Go back and retest it. Come on. Come on. Let's see if we get this. For me, this is kind of the boring part, is waiting for it to set up. And if we don't get the setup, then you're just sitting there looking stupid, feeling stupid. Come on. Hold on. Yeah, maybe that was a scalp, but again, I'm waiting for, like, especially a 30-second setup with a 5-second. And when you got both of those time frames linking up, those are your best opportunities. We're getting, it's the chop garbage here. Look, what is it? It's 243, guys. 15 more minutes till power hour. I do expect some things to, it's going to be active into the close because tomorrow is a holiday. We will be back on Tuesday, though. Trying to do more here. Trying to do a little bit more. I mean, I've had a decent day. Yesterday I had a crap day. Yesterday I was not a happy camper. Um, let's see here. I'm waiting for that to come back in here. Hold on. Yeah, let me go this one here over on. Let me open up this. So that's the one. That's the one account. So far today, where am I on this? On that Apex. So far today on Apex, I'm up 1,600. And the other one's the Tradeify. And waiting for this one. Just give me a dot. Let's see. Hold on. The Tradeify is, oh, that's the 50. The other one was a 25K. Come on, let's see if we get that. Get one more trigger for a retest lower. I think we could come back to like the 24.73 down. It's like down here into the close. But give me that trigger. Let's see. 43. Oh, 44 was the 5. There you go. No pattern though. I'm not averse to taking signals like this on the 50, but if they don't have the pattern, you're risking some stuff. You're risking stuff like that. Also, look, if you're going to scalp those kind of signals, you got to at least be following what HSI is doing, which is there's overbought. But still, if you're checking back and looking here, and HSI is not below the 50 or trending, you got a problem. Yeah, maybe. Hold on. Now I feel like I gotta really want to just whack this thing. Like 44 is that's the bat. Here's the bat T2. All right, we had a question earlier on T2. You have a T2. Where's the trade? Where's the execution? Because XA is 43, but there's no dot, no arrow yet. And this could go as high as 66 before triggering it. That's the problem with trying to trade it without, like, T2s are great. They are great. And a lot of times you'll get that move without confirmation, but it's usually just reaction. I mean, that was 43 down to 20, but we're looking for the larger moves. Who's this? Hold on. Can we get that? This would be great to end the show here, but I'm not getting that confirmation. Hold on. Should I scalp it? Maybe just scalp 46. Scalp 46. Because now Amplified's under the 50. Come on. 47.75. One more. No confirmation. I know, guys. And I don't want to dick around here and click something, no confirmation, trying to prove the point here of the strategy. That might work for like 20. Yeah, now there's a counter dot. All right, coming back to at least hit that level that we talked about. Stay on right there. Yeah, I think that 30-second time frame needs to nowhere close to being overbought. Oh, scalp it. Come on. No, I really want a pattern, guys. I want to do the, yeah, maybe for 10. Come on. The 30 and the 5 are, they've got nothing. So technically you're chop city here. We can't, this kind of action here to go short and expect anything more than 20 points, that's a tough proposition. 30-second. All right. Oh, there you go. Something. What's that? Oh, it's generating a bat. 49. Still don't have confirmation. That's the problem with it. I need a dot in that area. Print the pattern, and then I would be looking for this kind of a thing up here. If it's 49, we've been saying like 44, maybe even 66, but I'm still looking for that to get retested back for later by 4 o'clock, 73. Just give me the dot. 5. Back there, 47. Oh, hell. Hold on, keep it there. That's where I want to hit this. Let's see. Make this bigger. Yeah. Come on. Come on, chop slop. Hold on. Stay one more time. Hold in. Hold in. And keep popping this back up, though. At least even on the 5. See the 5-minute time frame. That's the other thing. Like what's the direction right now? The direction right now is still up because HSI is pointing, not only pointing up, but above the 50. I'm looking to short it, but my 5-minute, which is pretty much my primary intraday time frame, tell me what direction that's going. It's above 50, still higher. Don't want to go against that. Can't expect much until that even rolls over. There's 44. The 30. It's kind of like that. You know, we're still going to go. We're pushing this higher, guys. What's that? 47. I mean, scalping, what's that? 47 and a quarter. I'll go 47.50. Let's see if we scrape it. Scrape 47.50, and there you go. Get my reaction down. Nope. Come on. Take it off. No, not working. No, already not working. That's why. I'll take that off. I can tell you, I already don't like it. See, when you force it, you lose $100. Like that. Let's go one more time. It's going to go up here and tag it finally. Yeah. See, that was see, when you're forcing and fudging, that shit happens. All right, I'll go one dot here for a little reaction trade. One more. Nope. Need to trigger off the dot like back there. I'm going to try a scalp. Told you. There it goes to 66. I knew it. The 30-second time frame. Now we're overbought. See what happens when you force it? Try it again. Let's see if this spins out, guys. If this spins out, rolls over, I'll hit this one for the last one for the day. Took like 2 shots today. It's been a bad, like, middle of the day seems to have been just kind of getting super weak volume action. All right, at least we're going to pivot. 15 seconds to pivot out. Try one more. All right, good. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Trying to print a crab too. Come on. Dot me. Dot me. Checking back. It's good to look at this. Look, here's the trigger we were waiting for. Not at 47, but it was 57. Now, retest that at 58 right here for the type 1. Let me remove all this garbage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going back. I had a decent morning. I'm not gonna, and there it goes. I'm not gonna fudge this thing. I'm not gonna get in to start chasing this. Come on, can we retest that? Just give me a freaking dot. Hold on. And 49 was the level. See, you force it, you lose, and that has been the only reason why I've been getting frustrated as I force things. Come on back. Almost play the long position there. It's kind of dead. There you go. What was that? 45 back up to 60-ish. I caught a bit of the long this morning, but I'm not doing this again today. I don't want to ruin a good day, and sometimes that's enough. Hold on. Yeah, if it doesn't, and that's how I felt, Wayne. Wayne's saying no dot. He's going to pull his hair out, and that's how I've been feeling lately. Like, it's so juicy moves. You're just waiting for that confirmation, and you don't get it ideally. We gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. Hold on. 3 minutes to power hour, guys. Yeah, like I said, I had a decent morning. I don't want to screw it up. Even like losing 150. Like, I don't want to go through and throw away another 150 bucks. I basically set it up where I have the preset stop loss of like 44. That should be 41 ticks, by the way. About 10 points. So anywhere that I'm targeting, I should be there within 10 points. I know that's super tight for a lot of people, but that's how I've been rolling on it and willing to take 1, 2 shots to catch that move. Yeah, see, the 5 minute time frame has just been stuck up here. And I've got nothing overbought on the 5 minute as well. So why am I shorting? Trying to catch a reaction. I would look at it like this, guys, and going into, you're going to have a lot of explosive stuff over the weekend, right? I would be looking for this. Do that return move back into next week off of those patterns on the 5 or really the 4 hour time frame, just so we're clear. We're going to need some dots too. But back 23,464. Again, this could be, if we're going to get that capitulation next week, guys, it would be down to here, retest the crab, and go. Ain't nothing going down here. Garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Well, the idea was all right. I mean, I'm not going to beat myself up. Selling this garbage was not a bad idea. It's just I don't have the 5 minute. I don't have the 30 second even really. That's what I want. Now 137. Bastard. Meh. All right, kids. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, a decent morning. I'm not gonna screw it up. You know. Uh, let's come back to this on Tuesday. Yeah. Oh, the winners. Okay, guys, for the winners, forgot to say this. I forgot who you were. Anybody wants to connect with me, send me a DM on the Discord. The winners, the winners are where were they? Where were you guys? You know who you are, winners. Okay, send me a note on Discord. I need your TradingView username. I need your email address. I need your full name. That was Tomas72 and FOHM 2258. You guys get to 30 days. Check out what we do. Come to our Monday session for gold members. Our exclusive private group requires an initiation period, hazing, if you will. Yeah, see, I'm not getting. When I don't get confirmation, let me explain this. When I don't get confirmation at a pattern level, it's telling me the trading action's kind of lame, weak, not moving really in a thin environment. And that's probably what we're looking at. There's the T1. Go back for the 2. Still waiting for a 30-second dot, but not there. I don't like to dick around and just be like, okay, the signal's going to come anytime, anytime. That's why I kind of kept the other chart on the sidelines until we got that number at 19. The first one that I took, which was, where was it? Was the shark all the way back here. I like that. That's nothing wrong with this setup here. This is the preferred type of setup. It was perfect framework. Dot, diamond, T2, take it to target. Guys, every time. No matter what happens after the fact, this is measurable, definable, perfect type 2. The rest of this right now, meh, not so much. I don't have a single pattern here. And if I can't get it on a 5 second, I mean, I'll be reaching to go to a 1 second time frame. And I usually want to see it against a 30 second or 5 minute formation. Not happening here. And I'll just wait. I'll wait. Maybe it's like 3:30ish, maybe 3:45. The rest of it, not so much. So, all right, folks, that's what I have for today. I bet you, I think Mitch is on live right now. Go check out Mitch Ray over at Mitch Ray TA. Is he on? Is Mitch on, guys? Let me see. I thought Mitch is on right now. Hold on. Mitch Ray, TA. No, Mitch is not live yet. Whatever. Okay, that's what I have for today, kids. Let's see what happens over the weekend. No matter what, we're waiting for this capitulation phase to finish. Come on back on Tuesday. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Catch our updates. Let's look for the type 2 return into next week. We're closer. We're getting there. The major longing phase is coming. We just have to give it probably another 10 days and take it into like middle of the month, and then we'll see. Any other questions, get over to me at Discord, kids. Until then, go enjoy your holiday weekend, Easter, all of that. And we'll catch you back here Tuesday, 12:30. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. You know where to hit me up. Harmonic Trader's the place. Until then, go get 'em.